y'all. Today I'm going to talk about Toreya's allergy appointment that she had on Wednesday. At her 15-month appointment, I had went in and asked at the near end of her appointment if we could come back and do the allergy testing, because I have realized that when I give her certain foods or when I give her certain items, or sometimes when we go outside to play, she comes back in and she has either big whelps on her or she has little red dots. She just has a reaction to certain things, and I'm not quite sure of what those things are, so I wanted to get the allergy testing to find out. So he, at that on that day when we had went in, she the night before had went outside to play, and it's very hard to play at my house because the only place I like to take her is in the backyard, and our mosquitoes are just horrible, and they seem to attack only her for some reason. So it's very hard to take her out to play. So when I find certain chances, that's the times I have to take her to play. Now, the night before her appointment, I had taken her outside. No, not the night before. A couple days before her appointment, I had taken her outside, and she was to do a vlog, matter of fact. And she had gotten the dirt and started like digging in the dirt. So I was like, well, I'm fixing to take her inside because I don't need her digging in the dirt. Well, she didn't cry or anything, and when we got inside, she had like 7 bumps in a row on her leg. Like 7 bumps. So since the mosquitoes were so bad, I thought they were mosquito bites. And of course I got upset because we were only outside literally like 2 minutes, and come back in and she's ate up by mosquitoes. Well, that night, they had gotten like into big like blister looking things, and they had like fire ant bites. You know when you get a fire ant bite and they puss up? That's what they had looked like. Well, come to find out, she had been bit by fire ants, and her whole leg had swelled up, and like I said, they had big giant pus balls on them. So we looked it up, and she had an allergic reaction, and it might not have been just because she's allergic to ants, but just the fact that she had been bitten by so many that she had an allergic reaction. Now, she didn't cry or anything, so that's why I was just like in awe, because I was suspect, because I know when I get bit by a fire ant, it hurts. So for a 1-year-old not to cry, I didn't think anything of it then. So at her 15-month appointment, like I said, I asked them to do an allergy testing, but due to her bites, he had told me to give her this Benadryl medicine and for me to bring her back in 5 days, which led to Wednesday. So I bring her in. They first of all, the thing that set me off was that they didn't even remember that that's the reason Trey was coming in. Like, he went to weigh her and everything when we had just weighed her. So that, like, and then we get in the office and he's like, okay, so why are we here? I was her allergy testing, you know, like, so I just was right there and I was just like, and I've had problems with her doctor's office before too, but anyway, so that just upset me, because like, you should know why my daughter's here. So he comes in and he tells me that the other nurses are busy, the ones that usually register the tests are busy, so that he's going to go ahead and he's going to do the test himself. Another flag. Like, why are you doing the test if you're not the normal one who does it? So he comes in, so before he leaves the room, he tells me to, she was asleep too, by the way, so I told him this was the perfect time to do it, because Treya she overreacts in the doctor's office, so I told him this is the perfect time to do it. Well, he was like, well, I need you to get her back fully exposed, and I'll be back with the test. I'm like, okay. So she was wearing a pink dress, so I undid her dress, and she stayed asleep. He comes back in and he tells me that she's going to need to lay on her stomach with her back, flat down on her stomach. And that if it could, then hopefully she would stay asleep. No. Toreya, I went to lay her down and she wasn't having it. So long story short, I ended up my mom went with me, and she ended up having to hold Toreya with her back exposed. So he had these 3 prong-like things, and I don't know how to explain what they look like. It's just like these little white sticks on a flat surface, like kind of like that. And at the end of the stick, it had like these itty bitties, kind of like an opening with some liquid on it. And that was the liquid for the test. There was 10 on each stick, and so they were testing for 30 different things, and so he had 3 of them. Well, he promised me that the babies weren't gonna feel a thing and that it don't hurt. This one freaks out. He put it to her back and he kind of like put some pressure to it, and of course she starts screaming, starts slapping at her back like stop, no no no. Of course she's too young to say stop, but she starts freaking out. Well, in my opinion, I think he pushed a little bit too hard, and Torreya turns red, like, at the drop of a pin. And if anybody knows why she does that, can leave a comment below and tell me why. Because I've looked up things and I just can't find anything as to why she turns, like, she turns red. Okay, on the 3rd press, he was done, and on the very first press in the very first dot, that's the one that shows you that the results are positive. That one turned right away, and I asked him what was that one, so that way, like, it had to be something that gives a positive result, and I wanted to ask him what was in it, because, I mean, this thing started welting up like she had, like something that happened to her or something, you know what I'm saying? So, so that made me nervous, and I asked him what was in it, and he, like, totally ignored my question. So then he gave me a list, and he told me that these are, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's what those were. Well, he ended up leaving with the test, and he said that the test takes 15 minutes and that they'd be back to tell me, they'll come back with a little measuring thing to tell me how severe each one is, if she even has a reaction to them. So that was that. Well, the man came in like once or twice, and he was like, oh, I see this one welting up, I see she's having a reaction to this one, or she might be possibly having a reaction to that one. I'm going to go get her, and maybe she can come in now. Well, let's just say it was 35 minutes later until we had somebody come in there. Then all they did was come in, and by then her dots had already started fading. And when the nurse came in, she was just like, oh, she's had a reaction to almost everything. I'm going to call a doctor, blah, 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 blah. So, also when they came in, they forgot the little measuring thing to tell me how much, like, how severe each one was. So, they both left the room to go grab that. And it was another 10 minutes before they come in, and she just come in to tell me the doctor's on his way, I need him to see this. So here I am freaking out. Torreya's screaming. She's crying every single time they walk in the door. My mom freaks out real easy when it comes to Torreya, so here she is freaking out. We're all freaking out because you're calling the doctor because my daughter's having a reaction to almost everything. Torreya's back is blood red. Just, oh my god, so much stress is going on. Like I said, Torreya's screaming. She's in the middle of her nap when all this went down. Here she is. By the end of the appointment, she had 5 doctors in the room. 5, not doctors, but 5 people in the room looking at her back. One nurse is taking a picture with her phone. Just all kinds of stuff is going on. So then the 2 women start measuring it, and they're like, oh, this one's bad, that one's bad. And the whole time I'm sitting like, well, what is it? Like, what is she allergic to? Blah, blah, blah. So when the final doctor, her doctor, the main doctor, these other people were like nurses and another doctor. When her doctor walks in, how long has it been? And the woman was like, it's been 15 minutes, and me and my mom were like, no, it's been like 45 minutes now. And he was like, oh, she's allergic to nothing, she's not allergic to anything. And he walked out the room. And the nurse, her nurse was like, so my nurse kept giving me looks like, no, I think she is allergic to something, I think she is, but the blah, 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 blah. So she kept giving me looks like that. Well, another 10 minutes go by, and she comes back in, and she's like, well, they're the doctors. I can't really go against what they say, but I personally believe she had a reaction to quite a bit of those. And I'm like, yeah, if y'all wouldn't, I was like, yes, ma'am, I believe so, too. If you wouldn't have taken like 45 minutes to come and read the answers, you might have seen that. Because within 10 minutes, she had welts on her back. And I don't know what they were because he took the list. So, she's like, he took the list, and I was like, yeah, he took the list. I can't even tell you what they might have been because he took the list. She's like, well, here's the list. I'm going to tell you what I think that I saw on there that she possibly, she's like, the ones that I noticed the most. Well, on the list that she hands me is white potatoes, mold, and cantaloupe. The two I know that I can believe are cantaloupe and mold. The only reason I believe cantaloupe is because I haven't given her cantaloupe yet, and now I'm kind of nervous to give her cantaloupe. And so I won't be doing that. And mold, because I think just about everybody has an allergic reaction to mold, or mold is dangerous, period. So, of course, mold. Now, the white potatoes one, the night before, I had given her french fries. And with half of our dinner, we have white potatoes. So, no, I don't think white potatoes she's allergic to. So, the only thing that happened next was my nurse told me to bring her back in 6 months to have her retested because she believes she is allergic. Personally, I think I'm fixing to switch doctors. I don't know if I'm allowed to, or I don't know if that's good to, but 1, I don't think Torreya likes them. 2, I don't like them. 3, they don't know what they're doing, and this is not the only bad experience I've had with them. So, I have this testing for her head on this upcoming Tuesday, and if they tell me it's anything more than a swollen lymph node or a benign cyst, then I'm switching doctors, because I have been saying that since day 1. So, that was my experience with allergies, and to end this, like, out of the 30, like, I would say at least 8 of them swell up into the positive results. So, I don't know what they were, and won't know. All I can do is, next time I give her something, and I believe that she's had an allergic reaction to it, not give it to her again. That's all I can do right now. I have the medicine that they gave me for the last time she swelled up. I have Benadryl, and we live 5 minutes away from the hospital, is all I can say. So, my allergy appointment failed. So, that was just great day. In other words, I have another video coming up today, and it's going to be about a special trip that we have coming up, and a special plan that I have to do with that trip. But I'm thinking I'm going to wait until Torreya takes a nap so I can maybe try vlogging outside, because as you can see, having bad lighting in my room. So I just wanted to say, if you have any comments or questions, or if you've had also too a bad experience like this with allergy testing or any kind of testing, leave them below. Subscribe, and have a great day. Bye.